Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's once again time for comics. One of these days I might branch out and do something new, but I'm too tired to bother with it now. First up, The Crow #1. I mainly got this because I was a huge fan of the original J.O. Bar storyline in the 90s. The movie was good. The book was amazing. I mean, as good as the movie was, if you've seen it and you haven't read the book, go read the book. If you've read the book but haven't seen the movie, go see the movie. They are kind of different, but they're still just both amazing to me. This was actually written by the screenwriter, and I don't think it's as good. It actually takes place. It's an American exchange student in Japan. His girlfriend's killed, and uh, he's killed and whatnot. Kind of, like that. The reason why they're killed is what's new, but same principle. He comes back to life, and at the very end of this issue, the Crow, and it's starting a mini series. So I'm gonna keep going with it, but there we go. Next up is AVX versus #4, I believe. Yeah, 4. The only really interesting thing, we see that Thor, the god of thunder, Thor, can't beat Emma Frost when she's possessed by the Phoenix Force, which, they're kind of building it up. Nothing can beat the Phoenix Force. Um, and then we have Daredevil and Electra. And that was the high point of this issue, I felt. There wasn't really a winner. Daredevil just says to Electra, "Are you on the right side? Is this what you want to do?" Because basically the X-Men are rounding up Avengers and throwing them in as prisoners of war. And the question going around with all of the X-Men is, are we doing the right thing? Next up, Avengers Assembled #5. I'm I haven't been too big on it. This issue's kind of turning me around. I'm not the biggest fan of the Marvel Cosmic stuff. They brought in the Guardians of the Galaxy in this storyline. I've never read anything with the Guardians of the Galaxy until this, so it's been interesting to read. I will say this issue kind of made me enjoy Rocket Raccoon. Other than that, there wasn't much. I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting. I mean, yes, that is Hawkeye and Black Widow kissing. I mean, this doesn't take place in the movie universe. I know a lot of people have thought that because it was launched to coincide with the Avengers movie. This takes place in the actual Marvel comic universe, and both these people aren't really not in the. They don't have the chemistry that they have in the movie together. So that has thrown a lot of people off, like me. But I also know a lot of people who just excused it away as, oh well, it's in the Marvel universe, but it's a movie universe, but it's not. But the best part I think is right here, this page where Cap goes to talk to a general about a secret project, and he takes the Hulk around to get the general to talk, and I thought that was great, pretty funny. The only thing I didn't understand is in this universe, Steve Rogers is in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything, so he should know everything that's going on, and this general shouldn't be refusing his order to shouldn't be keeping information from him anyways, but he did. It made a funny little scene, but continuity wise kind of confused me. Next up, Batgirl. Kind of a filler issue, but still pretty good. Gail Simone writes anything amazing, and this I enjoyed. Batgirl decides not to bother to join this new vigilante group that's coming into Gotham that kills, and the cop from issue #1, whose partner was killed, um, comes back and kind of has this weird twist where something we don't really know what happens. I mean, well, we find out why. We found out how her husband was killed and everything. It's kind of a gruesome story that kind of the cop made her the way she is. But then it kind of leaves on a cliffhanger that Batwoman has found her and she's talking to someone saying, well, okay, I'll take her out or whatever. So it's kind of confusing. I've never really read anything with Batwoman. I don't know much about her. I know Batgirl, at least the new 52 Batgirl, and I'm pretty looking forward to the next issue. The two Batgirl and Batwoman fighting each other. Suicide Squad #11 starts a new story. They're in a plane. Plane blows up because of a spy, and they get stuck on a desert island where these natives take them and feed them and clothe them and do all nice things for them, but then try to sacrifice them to their gods. That's how it ends. I mean, interesting. I mean, I just decided to pick it up because they're canceling my favorite book, Resurrection Man, and rumor is he's supposed to start to appear in this. So I wanted to go ahead and start picking it up, and it's an okay storyline. It's a good jumping on point, but I've read the past issues, and I don't think it's as strong. as the past issues, but I think it's got potential. Next up is Demon Knights, number 11. The only cool thing about this is at the very end we find out the person who's ruined Camelot is Morgan Le Fay, which kind of saw coming throughout the issue. They dropped plenty of hints, but it was just a pretty interesting concept at the very beginning where everybody's starting to turn to monsters, and the one demon monster thing in Camelot that was the zombie of uh, King Arthur turned out to be King Arthur himself come back from the dead, and not really as a zombie, just transformed because of the magic, and he's able to turn back. And it was kind of interesting the way they brought King Arthur, because this takes place a couple hundred years after his death. And I'm enjoying Demon Knights. Paul Cornell is one of my favorite writers. I've known him, since I've been following him since they relaunched Doctor Who in 2005. So he's up there. Speaking of Resurrection Man earlier, here it is. This is just a filler issue to me. Him and his partner invade the company, and he fights the body doubles again. And it talks about here Hooker on the cover, the main bad guy. He's not even in this issue. He's mentioned, if I remember correctly, but he's barely even in it. But here he is, proudly displayed on the cover. But he's supposed to be in the next issue. Art could be better. It was better in the very beginning of the run of this book. I know 12 and then 0 is supposed to be its last issue, and I'm kind of bummed to see it go. It's one of my favorite books going. Next up, Captain America, number 14, end of a storyline. To me, the storyline just seemed like filler. It wasn't really all that good. It was the premise sounded great. Uh, all these subpar villains, that eventually turn on their bosses. The turn state's evidence they need a witness protection program, so it's the superhuman witness protection program, and it gets busted out to the public, and the public's mad. Steve Rogers, being in charge of world security or shield or whatever, takes the brunt of it, and also has to defend some people who are being killed by someone who's kind of targeting people he knows. And it's kind of an interesting twist. The first couple issues were good. Last issue wasn't that good. This kind of tried to bring it back, but it ends letting us know what the next storyline's going to be and what it's going to build to, and it's the final confrontation between Cap and the new Hydra, which I'm kind of looking forward to, and I'm at least looking forward to it alone because my favorite artist, sorry, Brubaker is my favorite comic writer going, but my favorite comic artist, Steve Epting, is taking over cover details for Captain America, which I just love his art, so I can't wait just to see the covers alone. Next up is Batman number 11, finished out the Court of the Owls storyline. That's great. I mean, this and Resurrection Man, to me, and Ghostbusters have been the three best books going. Ghostbusters kind of went downhill with this newest storyline, Haunted America. Cool premise. It's not really following through, I don't think. This has been amazing until this issue. It kind of felt anticlimactic with everything that happened. With the last issue, just boom, we know who the Court of Owls are. Boom, we know what's going on. Boom, boom, and then this is just a fight. I mean, I might have to give it another read, but just it was good. It just wasn't as good as the rest of it. As the rest of the story. But my pick of the week, and this honestly shocked me, it really did, is New Avengers number 28. Usually I rant and rave against Brubaker, Bendis, and his tie-ins to the main events if he's not writing them. And, I mean, Fear itself, all the Avenger tie-ins, I hated. I couldn't stand any of it. It was a chore to read. This is just a little one-shot about Luke Cage, Hawkeye, and Spider-Woman who were captured by the X-Men and them trying to escape. And it turns out they're not really escaping. They're just in a danger room simulation that plays on repeat just to mind fuck them. It's like Inception, Memento, all those crazy mind fucking movies all in one right here. And I thought it was great. I totally didn't see it coming, and it just made it one of the best books of the week, and I was completely blown away by it. Now my flashback pick of the week, I've started getting Nightwing a little bit, and I saw this at my comic shop. This is year one. It's the origin of Nightwing, how he came to be. He gets fired by Batman because he feels that Robin's too stretched thin with Titans and everything, and he has to go and find his own way. And this is the story of how he does that. I think it's worth reading if you're a big Dick Grayson fan. If you just want to know why he stopped being Robin, this is what you need to read.